Yeah, I think it's just a little bit better command. Stuff's been good, kind of consistent all year, and he's just been able to get out of a few jams that he's got himself in. He's just got to limit those innings where he has those couple walks and lose the strike zone a little bit, and learns, able to handle the left-handed bats in the lineup.
You mentioned it, getting out of the tough situations during that 3-game stretch where things were really rough. He was not doing that very much. Again, is it more command? Is it pitch selection? What's allowed him to do a better job of getting out of those situations before they get out of control?
Yeah, it's probably a combination of all those things. Pitching's not, you can't really narrow it down to one thing, and it could be a pitch call, it could be a mislocation, it could just be, the hitter made a good swing. All those things kind of contribute to when you give up runs.
Jackson Merrill has been hitting the ball extremely well, but so have a lot of guys, and it seems like one of the common denominators has been the ability to get to the fastball much better here recently. How does that change? What do you think happened, not just with him, but it seems like with some of the other hitters as well?
Yeah, I think, throughout the season you're always assessing how the team's doing and, what we need to improve at, and getting on the fastball was probably one of those things, and the hitting department made a concerted effort. That this is one of the pillars that they wanted to be really good at. And it was just an adjustment that we tried to make throughout the year, and we're seeing a little bit of the results from it, but that work's not done. We've got to continue to – every pitcher has a fastball, and so we've got to be able to hit that fastball, the good fastballs when they get it, and there's going to be even guys like last night where he had pretty darn good fastball and we weren't really able to get to it.
Is that pregame prep? Is it facing more velo machines? I mean, some of it might be proprietary that you don't want to talk about, but how much of it is physical? How much of it is mechanical changes? Pregame prep? What all goes into getting better?
Yeah, well, I think number one is it's awareness to it, and then it's messaging, and then it's working on it. Everything that we want to do on the field, we try to practice, and if we can practice it and get enough reps on it, hopefully that means that we'll get better at it. It's not guaranteed, but that's kind of our strategy.
Last night's game was just a really well-played game by both teams. That's how they kind of roll. They have to do it, play super tight baseball, but does that maybe bring out a tighter game in you guys as well? I know you're always trying to play great baseball, but you maybe dig a little deeper in that department or know the importance of that department playing a team like that.
Hopefully we're forcing them to play a little tighter, Okay. I think that's how we look at it. We play pretty tight baseball. We're one of the lowest teams in errors defensively. We've walked more this year than we ever have, so we play a pretty tight game. We don't always make the spectacular play out there, but we play a pretty tight game, and we force teams to beat us in the right way.
So you guys are very similar in that way, so I guess maybe no surprise, and probably the kind of baseball we can expect to see during the series.
Yeah, they definitely put pressure on you with their speed, then the way they like to bunt and the way they control the strike zone. That puts pressure on us. I feel like we're well equipped defensively to handle that stuff. Our pitchers have done a really good job controlling the running game. Saw last night our catchers do a really good job doing the same thing. So, it's just, you're always combating what the other team's strengths are, trying to use your strengths to, take advantage of them. And you get a really good team on one side and another good team on the other side, it's going to be tight games.
Craig, with Jackson in particular, to watch him go through what he went through the first couple of months, come out of it on the other side and now be performing like this, what's potentially the value for him still as a really young player to go through something like that and now do what he's doing?
Yeah, anytime you handle adversity or have to experience adversity or pain or tough times in your own life, when you get past it, you feel more comfortable handling it the next time, and you have better strategies to handle it also. And then in the back of your head, you're like, I can handle about anything. If you go about it the right way and understand that adversity is a good teacher and that you can be better on the back end, I think it's always an advantage to go through those tough times.
Speaking of adversity, Freddy Fermin said he's never been as banged up physically as he is this season. What's been the difference for him offensively since he came up injured the last time?
Yeah, I think a little bit of a break was good for him. He was fighting through a lot of injuries, and that's a really tough thing to do. Especially when you're kind of struggling at the plate a little bit. So you're mentally struggling and physically struggling, and trying to get both those to go together at the same time is pretty difficult. But sometimes a little bit of a breather like that is just as good physically as it is mentally, and I think he's come back refreshed. I think he's gotten past some of those nagging injuries, and he's just a little healthier right now.
Cool. Thanks, Craig.